Hold on. Why doing this today is so that way you guys have an opportunity to actually see how to do the problems outside of class in a video form, similar to what you might have seen in Algebra 1. I'm going to start doing this for all your reviews just so you have this, and let's get going. So feel free, again, when you're watching this, to skip anywhere that you need help with. Please also make sure that you guys are listening to parts over and over again if you're not sure as to what I had said the first time. Things of that nature. All right, let's go and get going here. Number 1. Okay, I always will proceed through a problem with GCF first. Just to make sure I not working with much bigger numbers than I need to. So here's number 1A. And it looks like out of these numbers, I can take a 6 out. So let's do that first. And when I divide a 6 out of 6x squared, I got 6x. When I divide the 6 out here, I get plus 5x. And same here, I get a minus 6. Now, notice there's no equal 0, so I'm not solving for an x. Next, I just need to factor this part. I'll do this the old school way, which means I'm going to need something times something equals negative 6. I'm going to need something plus something equals 5. Let's see, if I'm thinking about it, I believe it's 6 and 1. And 6 and negative 1. Okay, so that's the one that will work. It's not 2 and 3, because the signs won't work if you do 2 and 3. So my final answer, this 6 just stays on the outside and is part of the answer. And then we have 2 more parentheses. We got an x plus 6, and we have an x minus 1. This is the old school way, and that's our answer for number 1. For B, the first thing I'm noticing in B is it's 4 terms. When I see 4 terms, I think grouping. Okay, so let's try grouping here. So I'm going to look at this group here, and I'm going to look at this group here and see what I can do with each one. So 15y cubed plus 3y squared. It looks like I can take a 3y squared out of each one. So it's going to take a 3y squared out of each one in blue. I'm just going to color code it for you. Okay, I'm also going to draw a little divider so that way we're not confused. Okay, so 3y squared, what's left inside? It looks like a 5y when I divide 3y squared. And for this term, when I divide 3y squared out, I'm left with a plus 1. For red, my GCF is 7, because the number that comes out of 35y and 7 is 7. And when I divide 7 out, I get 5y plus 1 again, and that is perfect. That's exactly what I want. These two must be the same to factor by grouping. Okay, so now my final answer is I combine these two on the outside in one parenthesis. So I have 3y squared plus 7. And then I just take one of the other ones, one of these. So 5y plus 1. That's my answer. Nothing else I can do. Okay, let's go and do the same thing for this next one. Oh, yeah, those are really big numbers. All right, let me think here. I'm going to do grouping again. Let me just draw a little divider here. And when I do grouping, I need to find the GCF out of each one. I'm going to think it's 7. It might be 21, actually. Out of 63 and 42, it might actually be 21. Okay, so 21 is going to be the biggest GCF. And it looks like a z squared can come out. Okay, so 21z squared. And then let's see what's left inside. When I divide 21 into 42, I get 2. Take 2 z's away from 3 z's, I'm left with 1 z. And when I do 63 divided by 21, I get a positive 3. And both z's were taken away. All right, let's do the other part. Out of this one, it looks like I can definitely take out a negative. And I think I can take a 6 out of each one, 12 and 18. You could take a 2 out and a 3 out. But you want the biggest number you can take out, and that's going to be 6. And let's see what's left inside here. I hope it's 2z plus 3. Divide negative 12 by negative 6, you get a 2. Z stays. Negative 18 divided by negative 6 is a positive 3. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. These two are the same. Hooray! So now we'll combine the outside parts. We'll combine these two parts to get 21z squared minus 6. And our other one will be, let's put it in red. And we'll get 2z plus 3. Okay. Now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I think that's all I want you to do. Yeah, that's it. We could actually factor this part in one more step, but I'm not going to have you do that because that's going to be not something that I'm looking for. You may want to check with your teacher. If you're not in my class, in Mr. Lakin's class, see if your teacher wants you to go a step further with that. I will say that one other thing that we could do here, we could also take a 3 out of both of these. So a different answer, but a correct answer would be 3z squared minus 2, and then 2z plus 3 comes along. That's fine. The one, oh, that's weird. The one that I was really not certain about if your teacher would want would be something like this, and now you're going to really groan because this is going to be an ugly answer. So, or a beautiful answer, depending on how you look at it. Another possible answer could be root 7 times z plus root 2, and then the conjugate. Root 7 times z minus root 2, and then times the 2z plus 3. So the reason I did this one was because of the difference of two squares. This one was dots. Again, I don't think this one would be the answer that we would be looking for in a test or a quiz, so that's a possible answer, but I would think that one of those other two answers would be just fine. In my class, you would be fine with either of those two answers. Okay, D. So again, let's make sure we're looking for GCF first before we try anything else. And I'm also going to circle here that there's a squared here. In this problem, there's a cubed and a cubed. So these are cubes, but this one is squares. So we have different formulas for each one. All right, so let's go and deal with D first and deal with the GCF before that. So GCF of 12 and 75. I'm going to show you something on your calculator because you'll be allowed your calculator. Just for those people that may not be the best, that don't think that they're the best at calculators, I'm sorry, at factoring, I'll show you a little trick. Have your calculator out, and let's go to the main page. And let me go ahead and move this so that way it's side by side. All right. So I want to find the GCF of 12 and 75. I want to see if there's a number that's a common factor of 12 and 75. Here's what I could do. I could go to math, go to number, and this option right here, number 9, GCD, is what I want. The greatest common divisor is the same thing as the greatest common factor. Here's how it works. So I select that option. That was math number 9. And when I do that, I can enter 12. And I can do comma, and I can do 75. And then when I close parentheses and I push enter, it's going to give me the greatest common factor. It's 3. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, calculator. So now I can actually go ahead and, oh, that's not what I wanted. Come on. Okay, that's apparently what I want. So let's go and go back. The computer's giving me a hard time. Let's go and see if it will flip back to what I wanted here. Okay, so now this is going to be 3, because I'm taking a 3 out, dividing a 3 out with 4x squared, and 75 divided 3 is minus 25. Okay, and now this is the difference of two squares. So we have 3. If you don't remember what a difference of squares is, a squared minus b squared is a plus b and a minus b. It's the square root of each part. So the square root of 4x is 4x squared is 2x. So we have 2x, and the square root of 5 is 25 will be 5. So 2x plus 5, and the same exact thing again, but with the minus sign. And that's all for D. That's your answer. All right, for E, again, let's do the greatest common divisor again for 3 and 81. I'm going to assume it's 3, but let's just see. So again, those instructions were math, and you may want to write that down. Number and 9. I'll write it down here just in case. This was for your calculator. GCD, math, then number, and then 9. It will say GCD. For calc. You'll notice that my handwriting is probably worse than your teacher's, so I'm sorry about that. Not really. Okay, so now let's go and do 3 and 81. 3, remember separate with a comma, 81, close parentheses. Looks like it's 3 again. So we'll take a 3 out of each one, divide a 3 out of this one, and you get 1. Divide a 3 out of 81, you get 27x cubed. Okay, now this one's going to be a little bit tougher. So let me go ahead and get rid of the calculator here. All right, let me edit this so it looks a little bit neater. All right, 1 plus 27x cubed. So what you want to do, I'm just going to do some side work here. And I'm going to do 1 plus 27x cubed. I need something cubed, which is 1, plus something cubed. And what goes in here is not 27x cubed. Instead, it's going to be something times something times something equals 27x cubed. So what times what times what equals 27x cubed? And it's going to be 3x. You need 3 x's and you need 3 3's multiplied together to get 27x cubed. Okay, so now let's go and set up the factoring. Big parentheses. Remember we have SOAP because if we have cubes, you use SOAP, cube SOAP, a cube of SOAP, SOAP cube. And the same sign is going to be a positive sign. The same sign here is going to be, the opposite sign is going to be a minus and an always positive. So that sets us up for the first part. And then remember, 1 is A, 1 is B, and we're going to have an A here, an A squared here, and an A there. And we're going to need a B here, a B here, and a B squared here. So in red, 1A here is an A. 1 squared is going to be 1. Sorry, I just said an A, but I meant a 1. So 1 plus, let me make this neater. This shall be 1 also. And then it will be minus 1 here. Now let's go and put in the purple part. The B is 3x. Here it's going to be times 3x. And here it's 3x squared. The way we write that is 3x times 3x, which is 9x squared. So, final answer for 1E, 1 plus 3x, and then 1 minus 3x plus 9x squared. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this page and do letter F. And I hope that this is helping. If not, I would look forward to feedback so that way I can improve. Let's see. Bye-bye. All right, so now let's go and do letter F. So we need 16x cubed minus 250. Please notice that this is a cube, so we will need that SOAP. So I'll go and set that up. Then we'll also do something else. Again, it's same, opposite, always positive. So plus, opposite sign of minus is going to be a plus. Same sign will be a minus. Okay, I also said that there is going to be a B, and a B squared. And I said that there's going to be an a squared, and an a. So what we need to do is we need to rewrite this. But let's look at a GCF first, because I think we can take something out of 16 and 250. So let's go to 16 and 250. This time I'm going to show you a new trick. I'm just going to go up and enter so I don't have to keep looking for that. Let's go and do 16 and 250. 250. Because 250 is kind of a big number, and we don't want you guys on there trying to do all this work. Oh, GCF is 2. Okay. So let's divide a 2 out of each one. So dividing a 2, divided by 2, divided by 2, I get 2 on the outside. I get 8x cubed minus 250 divided by 2 is 125. You could use a calculator for that part. Okay, I want to make sure you're aware this 2 needs to be in your answer. So please make sure you have that there. And now we have to think of a couple things here. For 8x cubed, I'm not plugging in, a is not 8x cubed, so be aware of that. What 8x cubed is, so here's what I'm going to try to say here. I need something times something times something to equal 8x cubed, times, not adding. Your answer here would be 2x. Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and I have 3 x's, so a is 2x. Okay, something times something times something is going to be 5, so b is 5. Okay, so let's go and plug them in here. Minus 5 here, I need a 5 there, and I need 5 squared. 5 squared is 25. Okay, let's do red. I need a 2x for a here. I need 2x times 2x for a squared, which is 4x squared. And then I just need a 2x here, and we're multiplying them. So my final answer here is, my final answer is 2, parentheses, 2x minus 5, and then 4x squared plus 10x because of 2 times 5 plus 25. Yowzers, that's a tough one. All right, that's it for these. Let's keep going. Determine if x plus 5 is a factor. So the way you do that is synthetic division. We're going to take the opposite sign of negative 5. If we get a remainder of 0, then yes, we have a factor. If the remainder is not 0, then we do not have a factor. So let's go ahead and list these coefficients in order. Make sure you are not skipping any. So let's go and do negative 2 for x cubed. Let's do negative 1 for x squared. Let's do 25 for x to the first, and then let's just do 1. Please make sure you do not skip them. Make sure you're putting placeholders. Okay, so like if x squared was missing, you would put a 0 here. That's what I mean by placeholder. Bring down the negative 2. And just a reminder, any number that is down here gets multiplied by the number in the box and goes up here. So we get a positive 10, and then we add. We get a 9. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. And now we're going to do negative 45 and 25, which is going to be negative 20. And the negative 20 times negative 5 is 100. 5. And we get 106 out. 106 is not 0. So this x plus 5 is not a factor. Not factor. And that's sad, so we'll put a little sad face. All right, number 3, or maybe we're happy. Maybe we're happy about that. Let's put a little happy face too, just because, you know, we can have multiple emotions other than just sad. Okay, let's show that x plus 2 is a factor. So same idea here. Remember opposite sign. Please remember opposite sign here. And I got an x cubed, I have an x squared, I have an x to the first and nothing. So we have a 1 for x cubed, negative 2 for x squared, negative 5 and 6. show that this is a factor means that I should get a remainder of 0 out. So I'm just going to put a 0 here. This is a factor part means that I should have a remainder of 0. So let's make sure our synthetic division gets us that. 1 times negative 2 is going to be negative 2. Combine those two and you get negative 4. Multiply those two together again, negative 4 and negative 2, that's an 8. 8 minus 5 is going to be 3. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And I do get a 0. Remember what synthetic also does here is now it actually translates into, instead of x cubed, exponents drop 1. So now it's going to be 1x squared. We have minus 9x instead of x squared. And we have plus 3 instead of any x with it. And we have to set this equals 0 to solve for x as well. That's not true. I lied to you. You do not have to set that equals 0. You just have to factor this part. X squared minus 9x plus 3. Oh, Mr. Lake can't read his handwriting. That's a 4. That's a 4. Do not write 9. I can't read my own handwriting, and that's often a problem. Okay, so here we'll do an old school method. Something times something equals something. Something plus something equals something. We need a 3 and we need a negative 4. I believe it's going to be 4 and negative 1. So we have x plus 4 and x minus 1. But that's not all. And this one, x plus 2. All right. And that is your answer for 1 through 3. The next video will be on the rest. Thank you for watching if you watched. Bye-bye.